Hey, you guys, I wanted to come on quickly this evening and talk to you about how I kind of do the whole invite process when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I saw your Facebook post. What is this challenge group you're talking about?" Or, "Hey, I saw that you made this post and it sounds awesome, but how much does it cost? How much does what you offer cost me? I don't have that much money to spend right now." So these are just some small examples of the responses that we get when people say, "Hey, I'm interested, but," or "Hey, I'm interested, what do I need to do?" So what I'm going to go through here is my quick process that I use that I found to be very, very effective. So I will tell you, when I first started out coaching, I was doing everything on Facebook Messenger. And I will tell you, I spent so much time messaging and, talking to people. And as much as it was great to get, add that value and build that relationship with that person, I was spending so much time just covering the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. And even if I had a copy paste, thing that I could copy and paste from my notepad on my Mac and just, paste it directly into someone's message when they said, "Hey, what is the 21-day fix?" Okay, yes, I had something that I could copy paste, but half the time, even if I wanted to try and create a script, it would end up turning out to someone would say something different and then I had to respond in a different way. So things just got crazy with Facebook Messenger, and I was working way harder than I should have been working. So what I'm going to show you is what has worked for me and what has been the most effective process when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm interested," or if I reach out to them and, ask them to join a challenge group, or if they're interested in joining a challenge group and they say, "Yeah, I'd love to learn more. Can you tell me more about it?" So that's what I'm going to go over with you right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. That way you guys can see every single thing that I have going right in front of you. So let's see here. Okay. Move this down. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. Let me just double check. Okay. So here's what it looks like. All right. Everything I do starts out with a Google Doc. So I've created a video on this before, but when someone comes to me and says, "Christina, I am interested in a challenge group," or if I invite them and they say, "Yes, I'm interested in learning more," I always have them fill out this form right here. So everything I do is in Google Docs. Now I call this my Coaching with Christina fitness group application. And what this is my way of, one, getting to know about them personally, but two, this allows me to eliminate all the stuff that I was talking about on Facebook Messenger. So when I would be talking about, a person, when I would be talking to them and saying, "Hey, so what are you trying to achieve? What have you done in the past? What goals are you looking to accomplish? What have you done before?" Yada, yada, yada. You get what I'm saying? But when we try and do this all through text or Messenger, it takes so long, and you end up spending so much time doing that. And then at the end of it, you'll have to scroll back through because you forget what they said to begin with. So this is the best, most effective way that I have found to gather information about a potential challenger when they are interested in my challenge group. So like I said, I created a video before and to show you guys how I created this form. But basically, I'm just going to go over it really quick. So right here, I have a basic introduction, okay, telling them what this is about. And then what I did is I created just a quick video. So let me see here. I don't know why I can't click on it right now, but either way, when someone opens it up, they have the little play button and my video will play for them. This video tells them exactly what my challenge groups are about. It doesn't go into a ton of detail, but I basically talk about, the importance of the group, how we provide that support, that motivation, and essentially it just gives them the basic overview of what challenge groups are and how I will be able to help them as their personal coach. Then I go down here and I share just a quick transformation photo. And then this is where I get into all the details. So I've revised this multiple times, okay? At one point in time, I forgot to ask for the person's name. So make sure that you always include name, email address, phone number, I ask them how they heard about the group, because as you start to grow, people will start finding you on your like page. So mine is Christina Manier Fitness. I've had people that have reached out to me before and I didn't know, they weren't my friend, and I didn't know where to find their name or their Facebook profile because I didn't have this information in there. So now I ask them to put in how they heard about the group. I ask them to put their Facebook profile URL. That way I can locate them, and I will be able to send them a friend request to add them into my group should they choose to move forward with it. Anyway, continuing on, I ask them if they have a coach, what programs they've tried before, about Shakeology, what they struggle with the most. And you see all these things that I've got, that I'm talking about, what they struggle with when it comes to nutrition, fitness, exercise. What does their typical nutrition and exercise look like? These are things that I was talking about on Messenger. And like I said, I was getting very overwhelmed because I had so many conversations going and I didn't honestly know where I was going with it. So anyway, continuing on, this part right here, what type of exercise do you enjoy doing the most? This is going to be where we really get an idea of what type of workouts they're interested in. Because as you'll see, as I show you the first email that I send them, I will recommend programs for them based off of not only what they're interested in, but what their goals are. So typically their goals are, they can accomplish their goals with any programs. Like I said, what I use this for is to kind of just assess where they are and figure out a program that would be a best fit for them. So they have the ability to click multiple check boxes right there. That way I can take a look at what they enjoy doing. And then obviously you continue down, talk about goals, how ready they are to make a change. And then the best way to contact them after this form, that is important as well. Some people prefer phone calls. Some people prefer Facebook Messenger. To be honest, no matter what they put here, I will always follow up with an email, okay? And I'll show you that here in just a minute. But sometimes they respond back to me on Facebook Messenger, but it's always, always, always the most professional and the most efficient way through email. And then down here, I just asked a couple other things, and if there's any information additional that they want me to know about them. So once they have this filled out, what's going to happen is you are going to receive an email that says someone has filled out your challenge group. Go take a look at it. Sometimes it sends it to you, sometimes it doesn't. When it does, obviously go and look at it, but make sure that you're still looking on a daily basis so you know who's responded, so you know who to follow up with. Okay, so as you can see, it will tell you every single piece of information about each person. Now, when you click on individual, that's when you can go scroll down and see who exactly commented. I won't go any further down just to show the person's information, but you'll be able to see who commented and you'll be able to see all their details. So that is this portion. Okay, and what I do now, so now that I've talked about this, I'm going to go and actually show you a sample of what it would look like. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So I'll just talk it out here. Let me toggle back here for a second. So if someone comes to me on Facebook and says, hey, I'm interested, what do I need to do? That is when I send them this form. Now I will go ahead and say something like, hey girl, thanks so much. I'm so glad that you're interested, or I'm so excited or so glad that you're interested in learning more about this. If you wouldn't mind, if you could please fill out this quick application. This will give me the best idea of how I can most effectively help you out, and it'll give me a better idea of where you've been, where you're trying to go, and how I can help you in terms of accomplishing your goals. Something along those lines. Once I say that, I go right here. I'm going to go back now. I go right here to where it says send. I click on this little paperclip here. I always shorten the URL just to make it a little prettier. Copy it. Either you can click copy or just right click copy. And then I go ahead and directly paste it into their Facebook Messenger that I have just been talking with them on. So once I fill that out, once I receive everything, that is when I will go and I will send them an email. So here's my inbox right now, Christina Manier Fitness. I always have separate email accounts. So this is my work email. I use this for everything and anything Beachbody, okay? Except for my Beachbody Coach Online Office account. I didn't have this email account set up back then. Either way, I have this completely separate from my personal account, because as you can see here, you will start getting a lot of emails, and you want to be able to keep track of these as best as you can. So I try not to have this email filled up with any type of spam or any type of, promotion type stuff. You can see here that I am getting some stuff from Target. I'm not sure why, but either way, my primary is where I pretty much spend most of my time. But either way, what I do is I go to my email, and then I'm obviously going to compose a new email. And I'll just click here. So put their email address, which you have from their form that they filled out, and the subject will always, the initial subject of the first email is always going to be your Beachbody program information. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And this is the template that I use when I send out my initial email. Now, I've made a couple of changes since then, and I honestly just did this like 2 days ago, so this email does not show the changes. But actually, you know what? I didn't. I kind of have to revamp this a little bit. Once I revamp it, I am going to post my my new updated version in the Google Drive. That way you guys can have access to it. But this is what I've been sending for the past however long I've been doing it. So what you can see is I basically go into a ton of detail, okay? I know it is a lot to read, but when someone has this much detail, it eliminates their need to ask a ton of questions, right? So the less amount of questions that they have for us, honestly, the better, because they feel like they're very informed. They don't feel like, we're trying to be shady or trying to hide things or anything like that. So I always include a ton of information, and you'll be able to see when you take a look at the email about all the stuff I talk about. I talk about how I can best effectively help them. I tell them when they go and get a challenge pack, they're going to receive access to 6 different things. They're going to get the workout program, nutrition plan, Shakeology, Beachbody on Demand, continuous accountability from me as their personal coach, and then obviously that support from that accountability group from people who are on the same journey with them. So this is basically the email that I use. And like I said, it is super, super detailed. Now, when we get down here, this is where I go into my program recommendation. So based off of what they put here, obviously their goals and what they put here, what they're interested in, that is how I will go into the program recommendation. So if there's someone who loves weight training, HIIT, and plyometrics, I'm not going to go ahead and recommend Country Heat for them because they're not interested in dancing. So you kind of see how I do that. So I always try and recommend 1 to 3 programs. Sometimes that one program is going to be the best fit for someone. In this instance, I thought this person might like 3 of them. However, I tell them that I don't put them in any specific rank order. I let them choose. But at the same time, if I know someone is going to benefit most from the 21-day fix just based off of their form, I will only put the 21-day fix option in there. And then I let them know down here, hey, let me know what you think. If this program if you're not interested in this, let me know, because we do have other programs available that I can show you. So you'll see also down here that I have links. Here's the videos, but I have linked up here a video on Shakeology. That's right there. And I think I had one other hyperlink. I don't know where it's at, but nope, there's only 4 on this one. So that is what I send initially, okay? And I always, I know I'm scrolling a lot, but I always tell them, please respond back via email with your program or programs of interest. So always leave them with a call to action. Never say anything like, okay, I hope this information was helpful. I'll talk soon. Like, they're not going to know, okay, do I respond? Like, what's the next step? Always respond or type a response that gives them a call to action so they know exactly what they need to do in order to continue on to the next step. So please respond back via email with your program or programs of interest, as well as any questions or concerns you have with anything I mentioned above. I also allow them, I say, if you'd like to chat more about the details or anything I discussed, your goals, we can also set up a phone call, and I would be happy to assist that way as well. Okay, so that tells them right there, all right, I need to respond back to her via email, and I know that if I have any more specific questions, I can obviously ask them through email, but if I want to talk in person, I can set up a phone call with her. What I plan on doing in the future and what I've actually set up just in one email so far is I have what's called Calendly. Calendly is a scheduler. I'm going to go back over here. Calendly is a scheduler that allows you to put a link in an email, or you can send it to someone directly, but it allows that person to set up a 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever minute phone call with you at any given day that your schedule is available. So you can set the times that you're going to be available, and if that person clicks on it, it allows them to set up a phone call specifically with you. You will get notified. They'll get the notification that you received it, and that's how you can easily set up a phone call, so you don't have to keep going back and forth about, hey, when are you going to be available? Okay, sorry, I'm not going to be available that time. Does this day work better? This eliminates that 100%. It shows them when you're available. They can pick a time when you're available and when they're available, and it's just so much easier that way. I'll go into a detailed video about that later, but let's go back here. All right, so this is the first email. Now, the second email, so they're going to respond back with something like, hey, I'm totally interested. What's the price? Or, hey, I'm definitely interested, but I don't know about Shakeology. Or they'll respond back with something. Now, I'm going to go back here again. Now, whatever they respond back with, never just go directly into the next email. Always answer their questions first. Yes, via email, but I meant not the next scheduled email that I have. So the second one that I'm going to show you. Always answer their questions first. If they come back and say, hey, I'm not, how much does it cost? You can respond back. Honestly, you can respond back in the second message. Say, hey, I know you were concerned about the cost. I'm going to cover all that information below. Please, see below for all the details about your challenge pack information, about what to expect in the next coming days or whatever. So there's totally a lot of different options, but just make sure that you're answering their questions before you're giving them all the details of the, what's coming up. So honestly, I would recommend, like I said, instead of sending all those details, answer their questions first. Let's just say that. That makes it so much easier, and that way you don't have to, worry about anything from there. Okay, let me get back to this. Getting off my train of thought here. All right, so second email. So the first one is always titled Your Beachbody Program Information. When they respond back and say, yes, I am super excited, tell me more. What does it cost, or whatever? Then that is when I send them the specific, actually they'll come back and say, I'm interested in 21-day fix, or I'm interested in whatever. I forgot that part. When they do that, that's when you send them back with this email right here. So this is your 21-day fix challenge pack information email. So this gives them the exact details about what to expect with their 21-day fix challenge pack. Now you can see in this email I actually revamped. This is the first time I've sent an email like this, but I think I'm going to continue doing this because I like it. Now here you can see I say I'm excited that you're wanting to take part. In this instance, I talk a lot about the health bet. This whole paragraph right here is about the health bet because we have that coming up here in January, so I make sure to include that. But if you're not including the health bet, just do start off saying something like, I'm really excited. Here's what to expect in the next couple days. So this is the portion that I recently added, and I honestly think that I'm going to include this in my first email, because the more I think about it, I'm like, why would I want to wait to have them pick out a program and see all that stuff? And I haven't even told them what I will offer them as a coach. I tell them what the programs are going to offer them, but I haven't told them one thing about what my coaching services are like. So I think I'm going to obviously take all this here and just plop that right into that first email, because you can see here I talk about my private challenge group, which I did touch on a little bit in the other one. I talk more about my free coaching services, my private Facebook team page. I tell them they get an initial 30-minute phone consultation with me. They get a check-in phone consultation after they start the program. They get access to my book of recipes. They get personal development lists. They get all sorts of stuff that they would not normally get if they were working with someone else. Okay, so after, like I said, I'm going to move this into my first email. That way they can see it right up front. But how my email looked before, just pretend that all of this wasn't in there. And I basically went straight from this sentence right here, maybe talk about the health bet if it's that time of the year. Well, I would talk about the health bet if it's that time of year. I'd also probably include that in the first email as well. But I just go straight into the challenge pack details. So Here, I have every single detail laid out, okay, about the 21-day fix, because that's what they were interested in. So right now, since it's the final month that we're going to have this promotion for the 21-day fix, I let them know, because if it's regular 160 and they're only going to be paying 140, that's something that we want them to know. Everybody wants to save money. I let them know about the Beachbody On Demand, and I highlight the stuff that talks about price. That way, you know, they know that I'm being real with them, open, and it kind of just bolds, you know, highlights and bolds that information that's important that I really want them to make sure that they're catching on to. Now here, going right back up here, I always tell them to click here on this link to view the full list of everything that you're going to be getting in the mail. This is also the link that you will use to make your purchase. So if you click here, hopefully this one works. I don't know if I'm actually signed in. Yes, it does. So as you can see here, this link takes them directly to my 21-day fix page. Now, when they click on that, I will automatically be linked to them as a coach, and all they have to do is click buy now. They choose their Shakeology flavor, and they're able to see every single thing that they get within their challenge pack. So I always put that right there. Obviously talk about Beachbody On Demand, so that way they see that firsthand right there. They're able to see what they get, even though I already talk about it. It's always a lot more fun seeing things so you know exactly what you're getting. All right, from there, I go and I talk about Shakeology. You can see all the details right here. I tell them exactly what is going to happen if they decide that they want to continue drinking Shakeology. I tell them they can put it on hold, they can cancel it, whatever. And obviously, you guys can read exactly what I put in here, but I also give them the link to the Magic Bullet, the little blender that I use, just so they have an idea of where they can buy one, and they understand that, hey, this isn't just a protein shake. Like, I want to mix this in with some stuff because this is a legitimate meal. And then I go down into talking about what's next. So I tell them, you know, what to expect. I tell them when I'm going to be adding them into the group. And then here, again, I say, here's the link that you'll use to get everything up and running. So they see it one final time. They're like, all right, I'm ready. I'm here. I'm good to go. Let's do this. All right. So those are the 2 emails that I send. Now from there, actually, let me scroll back down one more time. I always, again, leave them with a call to action. All right. So I say, when you get everything all set up with your challenge pack, respond back with I'm ready, so I can make sure your spot in the group is officially reserved. Can't wait for you to get started. So this way they know exactly, all right, I need to respond back so I can make sure she adds me into her group and that my spot's reserved. Okay, so that is the second email that I send. The final thing that I send, now I need to find this, here it is, your challenge group welcome packet. Okay, so what this is, and this is my friend Alyssa, this is her nickname. All right, what this is, I always send just a little, hey, so glad, you know, you're here, I'm super excited. Just send a little, you know, personal email. Obviously, if it's your friend, if it's not, you can include whatever the heck you want to include in this email. But I say, click here on this link to access your challenge group welcome packet. This challenge group welcome packet has also been very, very helpful because, yes, we talk about the challenge groups, but we don't talk about them in a ton of detail. So that's exactly what this does right here. Now, the first page is me going into detail about what my team name means and what it means to be a part of it. You guys obviously don't need to have that in yours unless, of course, you want to. You can put information about your team, whatever you want in there. And then I just kind of do a little bit of an opening, telling them exactly what this is about, how it's a lifestyle change, so on and so forth. And then I always tell them, okay, here's a couple things to take note of. Here's what our challenge group schedule will look like. So I have that in there. I talk about prep week, making a plan, how nutrition is key, like just some basic things to keep in mind when we start the challenge group. The next things, a few other things. I did implement a weekly check-in. That's kind of fallen off just a little bit, but I am going to start that back up again here at the beginning of the year. I'll talk to you guys about that later. Talk to them about Beachbody On Demand, Fixate, all sorts of good stuff. So that is my entire process that I go through. Let me see. Stop sharing, pause share, stop share. Okay, here we go. So that is my entire process that I go through when I am inviting when I am getting somebody set up with a challenge pack who is interested in taking part in a group. I know that was very long-winded. I know it was very detailed, but like I said, I went through the emails in detail and everything, but I have those up I think I have them in the team page right now. I have them in a Google Doc for you guys. So go ahead and take a look at them. Feel free to copy paste exactly what you want. Obviously, you need to make sure that your links are linked in that, not mine, because I have my personal links in there. But this is what has worked for me. Now, I'm not telling you by any means that you need to do it this way. Figure out a way that works best for you. But what I'm telling you from my personal experience is this is what's worked best for me. So I wanted to share that with you guys in hopes that it helps you, or maybe it gives you some ideas or some inspiration to figure out exactly what's going to work best for you, what's going to be most effective, and what's going to help you work smarter and not harder. So with that, I know this is so long. I say it's going to be quick every single time and it never turns out quick. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you need anything or if you have any questions, please let me know. Do not hesitate to reach out and I will be here to help you however I can. So I hope you guys have an amazing night and I will talk to you soon. Bye.